Hello everyone and welcome to day 6 of learning Illustrator. So like always, let us quickly recap day 5. Okay, so day 5 we started with Artboard tool. We saw few options about Artboard tool from option panel and how tool works and how can we create new artboards or delete existing using this tool. For more details, you can go and refer day 5 video. It will be really helpful. So moving on, then we learned about rectangle tool, rounded rectangle tool and ellipse tool. Now these all tools are used to create these kind of shapes. I mean the rectangular, rounded rectangular and circular shapes. Now, along with it, we saw the implementation of Shift, Alt, and up and down arrow keys and how they provide extra level of control to our shapes. After that, we learned about selection tool, how we can select and move the how we can select and move the shapes around, and if we are to delete the shapes, how can we do that? Then we learned about filling color in shapes and then filling or changing the outline colors and the weight of their shapes. So let's see what all we are going to learn today. Now, one thing actually in day 5, I didn't cover about what if you don't want to fill any color in your object. So I'm going to cover it today. That's what we are going to start with, and then we will going to see about grouping and ungrouping the objects, and then we are going to see how can we lock objects and how can we hide objects. We are going to do few experiments with these two techniques, and it will be fun. After that, we are going to learn about layers. Now, this is the only technical topic I think that is left in Illustrator. We have covered so many technical stuff so far, and I think this is the last one. After that, the only thing left is just drawing tools and making shapes and making your artworks. So, let's start with Illustrator. So I'm just gonna go and create a new file from here. Make sure number of artboards are 1. I don't want any multiple artboards right now. And there I have my file. So I'm going to create a circle and a rectangle over here. Okay. Now we have two shapes, one above another, and I'm going to fill some color in it. Let's say red is for circle, and for rectangle I choose orange color is fine, I guess. Okay. And now if you see here, I have this outline on both the shapes. So what if I don't want any outline here? So for that, you can select the outline first. So if you single click on any of them, either the fill or the outline, that thing will got selected. So let's say if I am going to select fill, then I will click on fill first, just a single click. We use double click to open the color picker, but if you want to just select this outline or fill, then you have to do a single click. Okay, so right now my outline is selected and I don't want to fill any color in it. So below this you have these three very small buttons. The rightmost one says none, which means it will not fill any color in my outline. Then we have this gradient option. Now gradient we are going to cover in future and how it works. And then it has this color, just a single color fill. So we also, I think, have three shortcuts key for that. We also, I think, have three shortcut keys for that. So let me just make it easier for you. So, and this. So these are the three shortcut keys we have. This one is for linear fill, or you can say it's a single color. This key you can use to fill gradient, and this key you can use to have none. I mean no color. So let us see. If I select rectangle and press this slash key, so my color got disappeared because right now I think color was selected. So select the outline and press slash key, and there I have my outline removed. So again for the circle I'm going to do same thing. Make sure our outline is selected and then press slash key, or either you can press this button over here. Both will work the same way. So I have my outlines removed. The same applies for the color also, like I just did when I had my rectangle selected and the fill was selected instead of outline. And you can make an empty fill also. So let's say at some point of time, or according to your project, you just need a shape, just need outline, and you don't need the fill inside it. So in that case, you can use it. You will be using a lot of time, especially I use it for removing outlines, and but the applications are so many. You will come to know about it. So let us just undo it, and one more thing we can do is we can select both the shapes and select the outline and just remove it. Because both shapes share same property like the fill and the outline. So Illustrator can work together for this. So you can remove outline for both of them together. Okay, let's press Ctrl 0 for fit to screen, and now we are going to see about grouping and ungrouping. So like I said before, the grouping and ungrouping is very similar to Word, PowerPoint and other softwares. And it is like the word itself says, it will group multiple shapes together. So let us draw one more shape over here, which is rounded rectangle. And let me decrease its corner radius a bit. And there I have my rounded rectangle. Okay, so now if I am to move these shapes, then one thing I can do is select these shapes and move around. Now if I want to move them together, then what I can do is I can select all of these. I can just drag my mouse so this rectangle, so whatever shape touches this rectangle or falls inside this rectangle will got selected. So when you release your mouse, you have your shape selected and move around. But there is a problem. Let's say I have too many objects in here and I want to move a set of shapes. Then every time I have to select those shapes and then move. So it is a good idea to use group in here. So to give an example about that, let me open one of my project files. Now this is the sign work I have done for one of my client. So the idea was to create different kind of road signs which were available. So the idea was to create different kind of road signs which you generally see across the road. So yeah, now you can, as you can see, I have my guides over here, and I have so many shapes in here. And if I want to move something, then let's say if I want to move this whole thing, then it's a good idea to group all these shapes or all these shapes together rather than just selecting all of them again and again and moving them. So I think I have grouped them already and I can just select and move them. So all the shapes are like grouped. So if I ungroup it, now how to ungroup it and group it, I will come to that. But right now I have ungrouped it and this is what is happening. So So right now I have this ungrouped and my shapes are separated now, and I can move them independently. So it is a good idea, like if I want to make some changes in the design, then yeah, ungrouping will work fine. But if I want to move the whole shape together or the whole sign together, then I have to select this whole thing and then move. And let's say somewhere here I misplaced it. Now again I want to move it. So now it will be really hard for me to select this whole shape because it will include other shapes too. So at this time, if this would have been a group, I could have been just clicked and moved it. So the things would have been a lot easier. So let us just undo right now and group this together. Now, how do we group it? To group it, you have to select the shapes you want to group, all of them, and you can go to Object, Group. The shortcut key is Control G for that. Either from here, or you can right click and say group. The option is also available here, or you can just press Ctrl G on your keyboard. So I will use object and group, and you won't notice any difference, and Illustrator won't show anything that it has been grouped or not. The only way to check it is release your selection, then click and drag to see whether things are grouped together or not. Now here I have released my shape again, and this time I can just select this shape and reposition, and that makes it really convenient for me to work around with multiple shapes. Now since we have seen grouping, then how can we ungroup it? To ungroup it, the same thing, go to object and you have this option unlocked now which says ungroup. Shift Control G is the shortcut key for that, and like grouping you can go to right click or click on ungroup. So there are three options, either go to right click and say ungroup, either go to object or say ungroup, or you can press Control Shift G. So you have your shape ungrouped here. So let's get back to our previous file and let's group these three objects together. Select these three and press Ctrl G, and there we have our objects grouped. So now I can select this whole group and move around. Now Illustrator gives a one extra level of control over other software, which is you can double click on this and you will go inside a group. And furthermore, you can even have one more group inside this. So you can even go inside one more group and make modifications or changes the way you want, and come back to parent group and make changes and then come back to main group. So this is called nesting of groups. Now we are not covering it in detail right now because actually we don't have any implementation of this right now. We are not making any example or anything. So it will be a good idea to see it when we actually make an example or work on an example. So we are going to make a live example using all these techniques, and we will see how can we use all these things we have learned so far. So we will cover that thing in future videos. For right now, just know how to group and ungroup objects. And now let's see how our grouping and ungrouping affect the guides. So as in Illustrator, guides almost work like objects itself. Like you can, okay, I just undocked it, just a minute, dock me back and there. So guides almost work like objects. You can select guides and move them around. You can even make shapes out of it, and you can lock and hide them. Even you can group them. So let's say I press Ctrl Shift G multiple times to ungroup it, and this time along with shapes I selected these two guides and I pressed Ctrl G. Now when I move my group, these guides are moving along with it. So that's why we should log guides from here, view guide, log guides, before making these kind of groups or before start working on our artwork, because we might accidentally group some of the guides along with the shapes, and then you have to ungroup it again and select the shapes only and group it to make it work. So just be careful about this because I does it a lot of time. And let's see how we can hide and unhide objects now. Now to hide objects, we can go to object and there we have hide. Now it has three options: selection, all artwork above, and other layers. We are not going to see third option right now because we haven't seen layers. So we are going to cover first two. So let us see what selection will do. The shortcut key is Control 3 for that. So I just clicked on this and it my shape got hidden, or actually my group got hidden. Now if I want to unhide it, there is a problem. I cannot select the shape and say unhide the shape because the shape is not available to me. So Illustrator won't know what to unhide. So for that there is an option in the object which says show all. So yeah, this option makes sense. It will show everything on your artboard which you have hidden so far. So I click on show all. The shortcut key is Control Alt 3 or Alt Control 3. So I'm just gonna press these three keys on my keyboard and there I have my shape back or group back. So let's ungroup it for right now, or actually just copy it and just change the color of entire group to blue, or yeah, okay. So we have these two shapes, two groups, and this time we are going to hide them together. So select these two groups together and press Ctrl 3 to hide them. Press again Ctrl Alt 3 to unhide them. Okay, so there, that was fairly simple. Now, since the grouping work with guides, the same thing like the hiding and unhiding will work with guides too. So you can actually select all your guides and say Control 3 to hide all your guides. And if you want to unhide your guides, you can press Control Alt 3 again to unhide all of them. So yeah, I mean, even for guides, you have two ways to hide and unhide them. Either go to View, Guides and say Hide Guides, or you can go to Edit, Object and Hide. But I generally use hide and unhide for objects, and for guides I generally use hide guides instead of just hide option, because it makes a clear difference and it keeps things simple instead of just confusing me within a document. Okay, so we have seen how to hide and unhide the objects or guides. Now let us see how can we lock the objects. Before that, we'll see other option about hiding objects. So now we have this, or actually what will I do is ungroup this right now and put these shapes one above another. Okay. So here I have two shapes above my circle and I will select my circle right now and go to object, hide, and we will select this option first, all artwork above. And it is very simple, I think. As the name says, it will hide all the artwork above it. So it is a good example now, because let's say if I am working on something and I have like multiple things above it, multiple shapes above my shape, and I want to work on this particular shape in detail. So I can just use this option, go to object, hide and all artwork above, and it will hide all my artwork above this shape so that I can work in detail on this shape, and when I'm done working with that, I can press Ctrl Alt 3 again to show rest of the shapes. Okay, so with that, let's see how we can lock and unlock the objects. Now, it is as simple as hiding and unhiding. We just select any shape and go to object and say lock. Now we have three options again over here. It says selection, all artwork above and other layers like in hide. So it works the same way. Let's say if I want to lock the selection only, so I will press Ctrl 2 on my keyboard, or I can use this option from menu bar. So let us click on this and see what happens. Now I have my shape locked and I cannot select it and move it, where I still can move other shapes. Now if I want to lock this one, I can select this one. I just repositioned it. Press Ctrl 2 on your keyboard to lock this shape, and this shape also got locked. Now I only can move the circle around because this shape is still unlocked. Now again the same problem. If I want to unlock a particular shape, I cannot do that because you cannot select a shape and say that unlock this shape. So all you have to do is press Ctrl Alt 2 to unlock all, or go to object and unlock all from here. I think the same options are available in right click. No, unlock all is not available in right click, but even hiding and locking is not available. So yeah, in right click we have only group and ungroup, but if you want to lock and hide, you can either use keyboard shortcuts, or you can go to object and use these options from here. So I'm just gonna press Ctrl Alt 2 to unlock all these shapes. And again, the same thing applies to guides also. We can press Ctrl 2 to lock all the guides here, but we have to select the guides first, and Ctrl Alt 2 to unlock the guides. But if you want to lock and hide guides without selecting, then you can go to view guides and use these options like lock guides. So it got locked automatically without even any selection. And if you want to lock or hide any particular set of guides, then you can just select them and say lock and unlock. So I'm just gonna unlock it right now and select all of this and press delete. I think it's still locked. So view guides, and okay, it's unlocked from here, but I have to press Ctrl Alt 2. Okay. So here is where it gets confusing, because if you are using two options at a time, let's say what I just did actually, I logged it from here by pressing Ctrl 2. I selected these two guides, and actually let me take one more guide so it will be much more clear to you guys. So I selected these two guides and pressed Ctrl 2, and these two guides are logged now. This guide is still free. I can, if I select these three guides, I'm only able to move this one. Now what I did after that is I went to view guides and I clicked on lock guides. So now all three guides are locked. But these two guides at the bottom have extra level of lock now. It's like they are locked two times. So I have to unlock them two times. But it's not visible anywhere that I have locked them two times. So while unlocking, I could have imagined that, okay, go to view guides and uncheck this to unlock all the guides. And okay, my guides are unlocked, but these tools are not moving. So sometimes you might assume that this is a bug and all, but actually I have logged it intentionally. So here I have to go here, object, unlock all, and then I have these guides unlocked again. So it is good to use these options only for the guides and these options for the objects to make things much more simple and easier for you to understand, even to work with. Okay, so with that, I'm going to select all these guides and press delete to delete all the guides. Now we are going to see about layers and how this thing works. Now to understand layer, we will work on one of my existing work. So I have this file where there is a title in the center and there are a lot of signs one above another. So how can we use layers in such a project or such a work, and how I have implemented? We'll go through this. So I'm just gonna press Control 0, and the final outcome for this one was something like this. So after that, I trimmed the edges and then I added some drop shadows going in the Photoshop and dimmed down the signs which are beneath, and the top one are extra bright. So I did few things over here before finishing up the design, and this was actually the raw design, the raw idea, and then after this I worked on this. Okay, so to bring the layer panel first, we can either press F7 on our keyboard, or we can click on this icon over here just above the artboard icon. You can click on this to bring up the layer panel, or press F7 on your keyboard. Or if you don't have your layer panel over here, you can go to Window and click on Layers, which is over here, Layers, and the shortcut key is F7. So yeah, I use F7 most of the times. That's very convenient for me. Now looking at this panel, it's almost similar to artboard panel. So let's say if I switch to artboard panel, and this looks almost similar. Just we have few extra things in the layer. So let us see what all it does. So it will be a good idea if I just explain everything on this example itself. Okay, so let's first see how this project is, or how this file is arranged. So I have like these many layers in here, and so this is the first layer, and then I put some more signs above it, and then some more signs, and then some more, and then I put the heading over here and above some more signs, and there I keep putting signs one above another, and there I have my final design. So since now you know the underline of the project and how I worked on this, or how I arranged everything. So let us see the implementation of layers in this. Now, as you can see, I can just click on this eye icon in the beginning, and what it does is it hides or unhides the layer. It's like a toggle switch. So if I press it once, it hides everything, and when I press it again, it shows what all is present in the layer. Now you get a really small icon here which shows what all is present in the layer. But if that's not enough, you can increase the size of it. How you can do that, I will cover that part. But right now, just know that from here we can hide and unhide the layer. And if you hold Control key on your keyboard and click on this eye icon, then what it does is it creates outline mode. It shows everything in outline mode. So it is a good idea to see how I created everything, like this sign over here, how I worked actually worked. So you can see there is an invisible rectangle behind everything. So there was a purpose to put this invisible rectangle behind every sign, and the way I created all the other signs like this one. So it looks like a single shape, but actually I put one shape above it to make it feel like this slash mark on the sign. So this is how underline mode works. So press Control on your keyboard and click on this I to switch to outline mode, and then click again to go to normal view mode. If you click on this I, it will just hide the layer, and when you click back again, it will show the layer. Okay. Now next to it, we have this empty space where we can click and it will lock the layer. So now I'm not able to move this layer at all. or actually all the objects which are present inside this layer I will not be able to move. Where this layer, the layer next to it or beneath it, actually I'm able to move shapes because this layer is still unlocked. So if you want to lock this layer also, you can just click on this empty space or empty box in it, and this layer is also locked. Now, immediately when I lock a layer, you can see my cursor has changed to this no pencil icon. So that means I cannot perform any action on this layer unless or until I unlock this layer. So I'm just left clicking on this icon again, this lock icon, and that unlocks my layer. So yeah, this is also a toggle switch. You can just press it to lock the layer, and you can again click on this icon to unlock it. Okay. So that was fairly simple. Now the next thing we will see is this icon, which is like the right arrow pointing, just the tip of the arrow. So when we click on this, it will open the entire layer. Let me actually bring up this panel on the top, and now, yeah. So as you can see, when I click on this arrow icon, I get all the shapes which I have drew or I have put in this layer. So let's say this is the shape which I have made, this blue icon, or sorry, this blue sign. So here is this blue sign, and then we have this yellow sign which is like some kind of this sign, I think, this one. So I got all my shapes which are present in the layer. So you can open it and close it. So this is like you can see what all is present in the layer, and if you want to edit it, you can, I think, double click on this one. No, you can actually just click on this arrow again to go into more details that what all shapes do we have inside this group. These are actually groups. As you can see, the name itself, it says group, 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 group. So I have grouped all these signs, and when I click on this, double click on this, so I can go into uh, inside the group and I can change things the way I want. So that's why it is showing all these group signs here, group names here. Arrow icon, this right pointing arrow, just the tip of arrow, what it does. So when you click on this arrow, it opens the layer actually. And now it is showing all the groups which are present inside the layer. Now these are actually groups, all the signs I have grouped together. So I can double click and go inside the group, any of this, and now I have the ability to change shapes of this or move the shapes of this group. And I'm just gonna undo it right now and go back to our artwork. So yeah, it shows all these groups, and if you want to see what all is present inside the group, then just before the group you again have this arrow icon, and you can click on this to see all the things which makes this group. So like I have, let me just expand this. So like I have this path, and I have this 5 path in the beginning, and then there is some text, and there is a path again, and then there is this blue fill. So all these things are present inside the group. In this one, we have these 2 shapes which makes this group, and in this group we have these 4 shapes. So wherever you find this arrow icon, that means you can open that particular layer or particular line, and what all is present in that group. So let me see if I have like, yeah, in this group, if I open, I have one more group inside it. So if I open that group, it shows me a compound path and a group. So if I open this, there is one more group, and then there are like several paths in that group. So this much level of detail you can just see within the layers itself. And by looking at it, you can imagine that how much of control and how much of information you get from this panel. So this is actually useful panel. Just don't ignore the layers. You will be using this a lot actually, because especially in projects like this, or in a work or in a file, something like this, where you have to stack so many things one above another, the layer is the best choice for that. Okay, so we have seen that thing, and Let's jump back to our layers and press Ctrl 0 for fit to screen. Now the next thing we are going to see is this name here. So you can double click on this name and you get the option to rename your layer. So you can rename it to anything. So let's say Sign 8 and I will say update 1. So I have just updated the layer, so I will just say it update 1. So yeah, that's how you can rename your layer. And if you click on this empty space, double click on this empty space, then you get this layer options, just like our artboard options, I think. When I double click on this, no, it just zooms to that particular artboard. But in layers, if you double click on empty space, it will give you layer options. So again, you can rename your layer from here, and you can change this color to any of these available colors, or if you want to go in detail or change it to a particular color, then you can click on this color box and it will open this color picker. From here you can select any of this color and click OK to add that color to this one. Now what is this color actually? What does it even do? So yeah, let's say first of all we'll select this light blue and click OK. Now you can notice whenever I select anything on this layer, I have this blue color bounding box around it. So this blue color bounding box, and all the outlines which are visible are in blue. So if I select this white shape, so you can see, yeah, these all outlines are in blue and this blue bounding box. So it is this color actually. So let us change this to magenta, and there we go. We have our color changed, and now all the outlines are in different color and the bounding box is in different color. So it is a good idea to have a color which is complementary to all these shapes. Let's say here I have in this layer I mostly have this blue, yellow, and I think red, orange, and black. So this the color I have selected right now, the magenta actually makes some sense because this complements all the color, and I can see my selection very clearly that I have selected something. If I select some color like let's say, which color can I select? Blue itself, or yeah, let's say I select medium blue here and I click OK. So here I have this problem that here actually I'm not able to see these outlines very clearly on the blue itself. Although it is visible here very clearly, but if I select anything which has blue in it, and then the blue on blue will not be visible very clearly. So have a color which is complementary to all your colors in the layer. So I'm just gonna select magenta for right now and click OK and press Ctrl 0. Alright, so let's see other layer options. Now we have this template, we will cover it after some time. We have this lock checkbox here. So as the name says, if you click on this and press OK, so your layer is locked. So I don't know why would you do it from here. You can just click and lock and unlock this layer from here, from this box. So yeah, but since it is option, it's a good thing. It's good thing to know about it. And then we have this show checkbox. So if you uncheck it, your layer will be hidden. And if you want to show it again, then click on the show and press OK. So your layer is visible again. So it is like this. It works the same way like this eye over here. It's just that we got a separate window for it right now. Now we have this preview. It is like showing this layer in outline mode. The same thing we saw when we press Control click on this eye. So it's the same thing, and if you check this, then you get this preview mode. Otherwise, the layer will be visible in outline mode. Okay. Now I have this dim images. So this works best with template. So let's say if you have any reference you are working on, or let's say Let me just draw something over here real quick. Let's say there is some kind of face, and what you are going to do is you are going to make your illustration above this rough sketch. So what you can do is make this layer as a template so that this layer is logged all the time, and whenever you move something or you draw something, you don't accidentally draw or move on that layer, so that to avoid unnecessary complications. But this will work best, this option actually works best with images. If you have images in your layer, it will work best. Otherwise, if you have just vector shapes, you won't notice a difference actually. So right now I don't have any vector image here, sorry, raster image here. So we'll skip it for a moment and we will cover it again when we are actually going to work on some example. Okay, so we have all our layer options covered, and then we have this circle next to it. When we click on this circle, we select it, it selects all our shapes on that particular layer. So right now, like you can see, I have two layers that are visible, and the shapes outside the artwork are in this extras layer, whereas the shape inside the artwork are in Sign 8 Update 1 layer. So when I click on this, it selects all those shapes which are inside the layer. So yeah, now if I want to move all the shapes together, now I can just click and move them. So it is a good option because selecting all of the shapes one by one would be tedious, or if I want to draw something and it might happen that I accidentally select some of the shapes from other layers also. So if you specifically want to select something from a particular layer, you can use this option over here and it will select all the shapes or everything which is present inside that layer. Okay, now next to it we have this this icon, this colored box, magenta colored box. So what it does actually is when you click on it and drag it to another layer, it will copy all your shapes to another layer. So like right now you can notice a difference. This layer has gray color and this layer has magenta color in it. So when I click on this box, this very small box, and drag it on this extras layer, so immediately first of all this icon or this thumbnail has total white color in it. So and my all the shapes, selected shapes, color got changed from magenta to gray. That means I have all those things, all those shapes in my extras layer. So when I click on this circle now in extra layer, these all shapes are selected. So that means I have shifted all my shapes from one layer to another. So that icon actually you can use to move all your shapes around from one layer to another. Okay, so with that covered, there's some kind of bug here. It's showing a bounding box, and okay, now it is gone. Okay, now see, let's some of the options. How can we create and delete layer? So if you want to create a new layer, you have this icon here which says control new layer, sorry, create new layer. So just click on this and it will create a new layer for you. Now if you want to draw something in this layer, you have to select this layer first and then draw your shapes. And you have all your shapes inside this layer. Again, if you select any other layer and you're drawing shapes, then those shapes will be inside another layer. So make sure that you have your shapes or make sure that you have your layer selected before you're drawing so that you know in which layer you are actually working. So I'm just gonna delete those shapes and I'm clicking on this layer 11 and I'll just click on circle to make sure that I have these three shapes only inside my layer, and yeah, and I'm deleting the shapes because I don't need it. And now, or actually just keep it for right now. Now, if I want to delete a layer, just click on this and just click on the layer you want to delete and press this delete icon on this panel. So just click on this and now it shows me a warning which says layer 11 contains artwork. Do you want to delete this layer? Now if I press yes, it will delete all my artwork in that layer. Unlike artboard, where if I have something on my artboard and I delete that artboard, so it will preserve my data. But in layers, if you have something stored and you delete that layer, then it will delete all the data inside that layer. So if I press yes, then I have all those signs deleted. So if you are actually going to delete some layer, it is a good idea to use this option first. Move all your shapes from one layer to another and then delete an empty layer. But if you actually want to delete the shapes along with the layer, then just press this icon and you have your shapes and layer deleted. Okay, so with that, uh, now let's see if I want to rearrange the layer. Let's say if I want to move this layer on the top. So to do that, you can just click on the layer and drag and you can release this layer anywhere. Let's say now it is when I'm dragging around, you can see one time it is highlighting a layer, second time it is just creating a line in between the layer. So that means I'm dropping this layer in between these two layers. Before that, let me just show all the layers. Okay, and now I want the signs which are in this layer to be visible on the top. So let us drag it to the top, and unless I get this line over here on the top and just release it. So I have the signs, all the signs at the top of the stack. Okay, now what happens if I release it on a layer? So let's say this sign 8, I'm dropping it in extra. Now what it does is actually it dropped my entire layer inside a layer. So it is called the nesting of layers. So I have this layer sign 8 update inside this extra layer. So yeah, that's fairly simple. And let's just undo it and hide all the layers we don't need. We don't need it right now. Now let's see some more panel options we have or we are available with. So just click on this and now we have so many options in here and I'm not going to cover all of them because instead of giving you information, I will actually contribute in confusing you. So I'm not going to cover all this like make clipping mask and enter isolation mode, exit isolation mode. These things will further confuse you rather than giving you some good information about it. So for a moment, I'm just gonna skip so many things in this and along with the time and in our future videos, we'll keep covering them one by one. So right now I'm just gonna cover some few options from all this. So first of all, we'll see from the bottom. Let's go to this panel options. Okay. Now it opens layer panel options. Now we have this first option which says show layers only. Okay, so let's check this one and click OK. Now you can see all those arrows, those right facing arrows are gone because we told this window to show layers only. Now it is not showing any groups, any compound paths, any shapes, anything. So when we uncheck it and press OK, so now we have all the shapes and groups available. I mean, it was still available, but it was just not showing in the layers. So it all depends on you. If you want to keep it clean, you can check on this. But if you want to have all your information in the layer panel, then just uncheck it. Now we have this row size which says small, medium, large. Right now it is medium. So like if you want to, some people actually like to view their thumbnail really big, like I do. So you can click on large and click OK. So you can immediately notice the difference. The row size has changed. Furthermore, you can go to others and change it to a number. Let's say I I'm entering 150 right now and press OK. So you have this really big rows right now, and it totally depends on your choice, what you want to. It totally depends on your taste, how you want it to look like. I generally don't like this big, so I'm just gonna change it to 60, I think, so that it's even visible to you and it's even convenient for me to work around. And yeah, this is okay. Just scale it a bit and okay. Now let's go back again to panel options and see what other options do we have. Now it says thumbnail. So what all do you want to see in thumbnail? So if I uncheck this group and objects and click OK, so you can see in groups, I am not seeing any thumbnail. So you can see in groups, no thumbnail is visible actually. And even for the shapes, there is no thumbnail. There is a thumbnail for extras, sorry, for the layer only, but there is no thumbnail for other objects. Whereas when I click on this and check both of them, then I got thumbnail for all these things. So again, it depends on you what kind of options do you want to keep. Even I can uncheck layers and all these things and click OK. So I don't have any thumbnail right now. It's just layers. So let's go back here and check them all. And this was better. Okay. What other options do we have here? So lock others, like the name says, it will lock all other layers. Rather, expect your current selected layer. So actually, let me go back to panel option and make it large only. So this is visible better. Okay, so it has logged all other layers. Expect the layer you have selected. So either you can just click on this and unlock them, or you can go here and say unlock all layers. So it unlocked all the layers. Okay. Now it has this other option which says outline others. So you can click on this and now, how will it work? Let's say right now these four layers are visible and I have this extra layer selected, or sign 8 layer selected actually. Now when I click on this outline other, so it will show all other layer in outline mode, whereas your selected layer will be visible in preview mode. Okay, so with that understood, I pressed Ctrl Z to undo it. And we have this show all layers, which we have seen already, and then it says template mode. When I turn on the template mode, it logged my layer, and now, like I was saying, you can use it for a reference. Now I can work on other layers, but this layer will not work. So okay, yeah, we can do the same thing from here also. If I double click on any layer and turn off the template or turn on the template, it's the same thing. So I just click on OK right now, and now we have this flatten artwork, collect in new layer, and now collect in new layer, actually what it does is, what all objects do you have in your layer, it will create a new layer inside your layer. So let's say if I click on this sign 8 update one layer and I click on collect in new layer. So what it does is it created a layer named layer 11, and then inside it I have this sign 8 update one layer. So yeah, it created one more layer above my layer. Now it is like nesting of layers, so it might be helpful to you in few projects, and you will see its application in the future. Right now I'm just gonna undo it and restore to settings, restore to our previous settings, and again I'm going to these options, and now we have this option which is called flatten artwork. Now again, some of this option might be disabled because you haven't selected any layer. Let's say this collect in new layer isn't enabled now, it is disabled because I haven't selected any layer. So you have to select a layer and then click on this to have these few options enabled. Now still some options are still disabled, and we will see why they are disabled, and we will cover them in future chapters. But right now just have this information with you that if something like this is not working, then you might want to select a layer and then go back again and see if it works or not. So okay, now let us see what this flatten artwork will do. So I'm just clicking on this, and now it says all the hidden layers contain artwork. Do you wish to discard the hidden art? So now what will it do is it will combine all my layers into one single layer. The hidden layers will be dropped down and the visible layers will combine together. So if I press yes, then I have this single layer now. All the hidden layers are discarded, and the visible layer has come together. So if I show all my layers and now I say flatten artwork, so it has combined all my work into a single layer. Now I have all these shapes and all these groups in a single layer. Okay, so just undo it real quick and go to panel options again. Again, we are skipping this exit isolation, enter isolation, make and release clipping mask right now, and option for selection also. And we are going to see option for selection. So let's see, I click on this one and main sign, and here I can go in panel options, and if I click on option for main sign, that brings the layer options. So it's same like I can double click on this layer and it will bring up this window, or I can click on this icon on the top and say option for that particular layer. So both works the same way. And then we have this delete main sign, which is the layer name. So as the name says, if I click on this, it will delete the layer along with the artwork. I can do same thing from this icon at the bottom right also, which will exactly do the same thing. Okay, and then I have this option which is called duplicate layer name actually. So if I click on this, it will just create a duplicate of the previous layer with the rename of it, which says layer name space copy. So yeah, you have two layers now with same content. So if I select this and move it around, so yeah, you can see that I have two layers with same content. So right now I'm just gonna delete this one, and let's see what other options we are missing. Now again, it has this option which is called new sublayer. What it does is create a new sublayer inside your layer. So now immediately you get this option which says layer option, and you can rename your layer and you can change its color and all these test settings, and then click on OK, and you have your new layer inside this layer. Now this is little different than this option which says collect in new layer. So this looks similar actually, collect in new layer and new sublayer. But what's the difference actually? Collect in new layer actually take your current layer and put it inside a new layer, whereas this new sublayer, it actually creates a layer inside your existing layer. So let me actually, if I draw it, it will be much more helpful to you. So let's say this is your layer. So when I click on this, collect in new layer, so what it actually does is it will create a new layer. Let's say this is the parent layer, and put your existing layer or a selected layer in this one. But when I click on new sublayer, so it will create a new layer and it will put this layer inside your previous layer. So let me say this is main and this is new. So I think that makes it more clear how this two option works. It will be much more helpful if you go and practice it by yourself. It will be more clear to you. Unless you practice it by yourself, it will not be clear. So I suggest you to practice it by yourself to understand it better. Okay, now let's see the last option we have available here, which is called new layer. So yeah, we have seen this option before from here, from the bottom right icon, which is also a new layer. So the same way it works, it just creates a new layer. And immediately you get these options. The only difference is when you create it from here, you get this option window along with it just after creating a layer, and you can rename all these things. From here, you don't get this option. It just creates a layer, and you have to manually open the layer option and change all the settings by yourself. Okay, so that's all we are going to cover in layers, and actually that's all we are going to cover in this video. And from next video, we will start drawing shapes, and we will actually start creating things in the Illustrator rather than just learning all this technical stuff. So I will see you in my next video, and goodbye for now.